Hello everyone, welcome back to the channel. It's Mark Bennett. We're gonna go over something that I'm sure a lot of you are gonna be interested in. Those of you looking at going to Swift Transportation, we're gonna look at my pay for the month of July, and we'll do this at the end of every month, so you guys could track the kind of money that can be made at Swift if you run properly or if they run you properly. So we're going to bring up our first pay information right here, and this is for the check of July 7th, 2023. And if we look through here, it'll show us over here our deadhead, Lathrop to Lathrop. It'll give us the date, how many miles, empty miles, loaded miles, and the quantity, and then our pay rate, and then what we made on the trip. So on the 26th, I was dispatched from Lathrop to Modesto to North Las Vegas. Paid us 24 miles deadhead and 491 miles loaded. And that trip paid us a total of $285. Then we dropped that load in Las Vegas. We picked it up on Monday, which was the 26th. We got there the 27th, and we dropped it because it didn't deliver till Wednesday. And as you can see, we were dispatched on a local run for Las Vegas. So North Las Vegas, North Las Vegas. Grabbed on the 27th, delivered the morning of the 27th. It was 2 miles, and it was literally just 2 miles from the yard. And this is what they paid us for it. For the deadhead part of it. Then the actual trip, I'm not sure why they do it this way, but for the actual trip, North Las Vegas, okay, no, so that's what we got paid for that trip. So once we got done with that trip, we went right back to the yard and dropped that empty, and we picked up at the Las Vegas yard again, and we went North Las Vegas to Salt Lake City, then back to West Valley to the yard. As you can see here, we had 0 deadhead on the first part of it because we were at the yard. They paid us a total of 11 miles deadhead, 416 miles loaded, and this load paid us $237. Then we went down here, and West Valley to West Valley. It's basically kind of like a yard move that they do when you're sitting in the yard, and because that was Wednesday. We sat there all day Wednesday, and then on Friday, they sent us up to Corinne, Utah to do some of the Walmart dedicated stuff out of Corinne. As I said earlier, that's a great account if you live in the area. But as you can see, we went from West Valley, Utah to Corinne, Utah, to Garden City, Idaho, to Meridian, Idaho, back to Corinne. 67 empty miles from West Valley, which is where our yard is, up to Corinne, and then 578 miles loaded total. That's going all the way to Idaho and coming back. That's round trip. So we had a total of 600 plus miles, and this load paid us $357 plus a $25 stop pay, and then for our second stop pay, $35. Then we came back and we set for a day. And then on the second, they gave us a Corinne, Utah to Cedar City, Utah to St. George, Utah, back to Corinne again. So right here, because it rolled over into the next pay week, well, the way Swift does it, if you're dispatched on a load that delivers on Monday, because our cutoff is Sunday, they take the amount of days that you're going to be on that load, and they divide that many days into what the load's going to pay, and they'll pay you that portion on that same week's check, then you'll get the rest of the next week. So they paid us $232 off that load. So that our very first week we ran 1,591 miles, so 1,591 miles, and we came out to a total gross wages of $1,226.82, and then out of that, our check for our first week was $1,067, which really isn't that bad. That's not real bad money. I'd prefer to make a little bit more than that, especially since I'm away from home. But you can't really complain about $1,000 a week for the miles that we did. There was a lot of sitting that first week. So now what we're going to do is we're going to close this one down. We're going to go to our pay on the 14th. That was the 7th, so we'll go to the 14th. We're going to bring this up here. So on the 14th, you can see right here, the Corinne, Utah to Cedar City, Utah to St. George, Utah, back to Corinne, Utah. This is where, because it delivered that load, we didn't finish it out till the 3rd, which was part of the pay period for the 14th. So they paid us part of it. And the way they do it is, it's kind of wonky. It took me a little bit to understand it and talking to payroll. But they noted all the miles on this week instead of last week, even though they paid me a portion of it last week. So it's going to show us right here where we have 725 loaded miles, 5 empty miles. We have our $25 stop pay and our $35 stop pay. And we'll add those up, and then you'll see here this negative 232.58. If you remember, that's exactly what they paid us on the previous week for this load. So on this load we made $460, but they take out the $232 they paid us previous, so we made, so we got paid $200. We basically got half and half, 50-50. So then we went, they gave us your deadhead here again, a Corinne to Corinne, basically like a yard move situation. Then we got off of that and we did a Hershey load, which was Corinne, Utah to Ogden, Utah to Portland, Oregon. Now, I will say I was getting frustrated with all my sitting. I didn't know what my pay was exactly going to be at this point in time because you're still waiting for your pay. Because as you see, this is barely on the 4th, and we didn't get paid till the 7th. So I got a little upset, and I also had problems with my teeth, so I had to go to the dentist. So I put in a home time request for 5 days after. 5 days after this, that's the minimal required for your home time request. So we picked up in Ogden, went to Portland, Oregon. We did 25 miles empty, 729 miles loaded. Paid us a total of $418 for this load. And from Portland, Oregon, they deadheaded us over to Boardman, Oregon, and to go down to Mariloma, California. So I'm trying to figure this out, exactly how this one worked out here. Oh, okay. So we went on down, and again, because we got to Mariloma after the cutoff for the pay period, we were dispatched on it before the cutoff, and we delivered it at Mariloma after the cutoff. You get this cross pay per AD, which is like just like that we did on the last week. So on this, they paid us $502.86 for that load. So for our second week at Swift for pay on the 14th, we did a total of 1,485 miles, and our gross pay on this was $1,200.71, and after all deductions and everything, we took home $1,011.42, which is what was deposited into our account. So far, it's actually not too bad for the little bit of running that we did. Again, I want more miles. I'm out there. I'm away from the family. I want more money, but you can't complain. This really isn't bad money. So now what we're going to do is we're going to go. This is for the 14th, so we're going to go to the 21st. Let me bring this one up. Now on this one here, remember I told you I was upset with my miles at the time. I had tooth problems, so I had to go to the dentist, so I put in my home time. So we went down to Mariloma, and as you see, they paid us the rest of the money for that load. So you can see it was a total of 1,047 miles with 161 empty. The load would have paid us $670 and some change. Then you got to take out the 502 that they paid us the previous week for this load. And again, the way they explained it to me is they take the amount of days for the pay period that you're on the load, and that's how they pay you. So this delivered on the 10th, and if I remember right, the 10th was a Monday. I have to go. Let me go ahead and find that out real quick, just so we have accurate information. Yeah, and the 10th was a Monday, so it was after. So I was only on this load for one day, so that's why I got paid that. And then I was on the load for 3 days, the 7th, 8th, and 9th. So that's why the 502 was paid on the previous check. So it's based on which pay period, how many days you're on it, in each pay period on what portion they're going to pay you. And then to get me home, they went ahead. They did head me from Mariloma to Rancho Cucamonga up to Lathrop. This load, because I got up there a day early, we ended up dropping it in Lathrop. So we went 11 miles empty from Mariloma to Rancho Cucamonga. And the Mariloma was a Costco delivery, of course. And the Rancho Cucamonga was General Mills, I believe, pickup. And we ran 362 miles loaded, so for a total of 373 miles. As you can see, that load paid us $207. Then right here you got the Lathrop, and I don't understand why they do this, but they do it. The Lathrop, California Lathrop, it's just a yard move because you're in the yard for 1 mile. So on week 3, we're at $395. Oops, we don't want this yet. So at $395 for our gross, and on this week our actual check after deductions and stuff was $376.48, which is what got put direct deposit in our account. 48. All right, so now we got one more pay period in July, which is going to be the check we just had. It just came direct deposit 2 days ago, and on the 28th. So let me go ahead and pull this one up. We can take a look at this and see how we did. Let's go ahead and close this one out. So on the 28th, I went home on the 10th. I had, and just so we all know, I went home on the 10th, and then I didn't leave out again until the 17th because I had teeth pulled and stuff like that. So when we left on the 17th, we went from Lathrop to Modesto up to Wilsonville, Oregon. We picked it up on the 17th. We delivered on the 19th. It's 24 miles empty, 633 miles loaded. So this load paid us a total of $364, plus we got $4 in wait time. I still don't understand how Swift pays their wait time or their detention. I haven't really asked about it. I believe it's after 2 hours. It's probably something I should look into, so I can get you that information. But as of right now, I really don't know. So once we got empty on this load, they did hit us up to Moses Lake, Washington. 289 miles deadhead. We ran up there to Moses Lake. We got up there, and the load itself, the machine, it was cardboard that we were going to take over into Utah. We get up to the customer, the machine was broke down, and they didn't know when they were going to get it fixed. They had to order parts, and so I reached out to dispatch. It took a couple hours. We sat there, and they decided it wasn't worth waiting on it because they didn't know if they'd have the machine fixed that night, the next day, or the day after. So we went ahead and deadheaded. We got paid the deadhead to go up there, which paid us $160. Then they moved us from Moses Lake, Washington to Pasco, Washington to pick up a load going to Oakland. And on this one, we got 71 miles deadhead, 729 loaded, and it paid us a total of $444 for this load. That was an interesting load. I'm going to be making a video about it here the next couple of weeks. Just the customer in Oakland was just is a very interesting situation. But from Oakland, California, we went ahead and they did head us down to King City, California. And then from King City, California, we picked up a load going back down to Mariloma, California again. So we had 149 miles deadhead, 298 miles loaded, as you can see here. And this load paid us a total of $259, $260 with some change. So when we emptied out in Mariloma, then we went directly over to Carson, California. We picked up a load going to Tracy, going to Safeway in Tracy. And this is another one of those to where it picked up and delivered. It split the paydays. So as you can see, they didn't put none of the mileage on this week's pay. So what they did was they paid us $147 of the pay because we were on it one day. We were on this load 2 days for this pay period, and then 1 day for the following pay period. And we'll see that when we go over next month's pay for the month. But for this week, we ended up with 2,195 miles, which is still really below where we should be. We should be 2,500 to 3,000 miles. But it came out to a gross of $1,437. And after taxes and all our deductions, and our insurance isn't started to come out yet. Insurance starts coming out our very next check, so we'll be making a video on that as well. We had $1,174 deposited into our account. So we're gonna go ahead and add these up. So for the month of July, I took home to the house $3,625.48. All in all, that's really not that bad for the amount of miles that I ran. And it is the first month that I was with Swift. So they're still getting used to, or I'm hoping they're still getting used to the way I run and how I like to run, and I'm still getting used to them. On top of that, though, this doesn't pay out until next month. But I'm gonna go ahead and touch on it a little bit. It's the driver performance program with Swift. It's basically their bonus program monthly. So your monthly requirements, as you'll be able to see here, is you must complete a minimum of 6,000 miles. Then you also got to go to the Swift University course and complete one course, and you'll go through the to-do tab right here, and it'll take you directly to the exact course that they want you to take for the month. You have to have no preventable crashes, and in bonus paying position at the end of the month. So my projected total bonus this month is going to be $163, and this is how that breaks down. So you'll get 1 penny per mile for your 6,000 miles to be eligible. Then if you hit level 2, which is 8,200 miles, which we did not hit, we're projected to be about 8,150 miles. So we're going to miss it by 142 miles. You'll get another penny for every mile you drive. And then if you hit what they call level 2, which is 9,200 miles, you'll get another penny. So that's 3 cents per mile for the month that you can earn right there. As you can see down here, we did not get that productivity bonus. Then we have a smart drive in our trucks, the camera and everything that checks your hard braking, your overspeed, turning too fast, running stop signs. So as long as that score stays 20 or below, and it's updated every week, you get another penny per mile for the month. Now, and then as you can see right here, that they have a fuel mileage bonus, which I did hit. You got to average 6.9 miles per gallon or more, and I averaged 7.7 for the month, which gives you another penny. Now, mind you, this is pulling a reefer, so I'm 40 to 44,000 pounds on every load I pulled for the month, except for one. Then you have an option if you hit platinum, and platinum is basically, it's awarded when you achieve your safety bonus, your fuel bonus, and your productivity level 2 bonus. Got to add another 2 cents. So you have the opportunity to make. There's 3 cents here. There's 4, 5, a total of 7 cents per mile extra a month if you're able to get the miles in, which you have no control over. If you're able to have no crashes, which you're totally able to control, and also your fuel mileage, which you could control. Idle a little bit less. Drive use the cruise control for the majority of your driving when you can. and it shouldn't be too hard to hit this fuel bonus at all. So, but we'll go over this in a little bit more detail when we find out exactly when it pays out, whether it's the first check of next month, the last check of next month, or in the middle of the month. But if you have any questions or comments, put them down below. Also, don't forget to like, subscribe, and we'll see you again next time.